thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends tonight. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. So thanks for joining. We are going to finish up this embroidery tonight, our letter B embroidery. I'm going to scooch you guys around here a little bit. And we are just about done there. We could have maybe stayed and finished it last night, but it would have been about another half hour, 20 minutes or so. But all we have left is the rest of the outlining of the letter B. So we're going to get that done first. I already have thread out for it. But when we're done with this, I wanted to share a couple of the projects that I'm working on my mom location at my parents' house. I brought a whole pile of craft projects. Fully okay with not even touching any of them, really. But I've already finished a whole pile of them, or just, I guess I haven't really finished, but I've gone a whole lot farther on getting things done as far as projects go than I ever thought I was going to. So I'm on like a project roll right now. Hey Letitia, thanks for joining. So I wanted to share some of the little projects I'm doing and work on some of those here with you guys tonight. So after we're done with this, I have that sweater that I've been wearing that was my mom's. I actually knit a collar onto it. So it had a collar, but I knit that orange or the red. I added more red to the collar, like how I did the cuffs. And I think it just really finished it off. It needed like a little visual weight up at the top there. So I knit that. So I had to look up how to knit on pick up stitches on a knit one, purl one rib and do all that again. And so I did that. And then I printed out onto the special fabric that can be put into an inkjet printer. I printed out the text message that my mom sent that told the story of that sweater. And so I printed that on fabric, and I'm almost done stitching it onto the sweater. So I'm stitching it onto the inside of the sweater. Hey, Cheryl. So I'll show you guys that, and I have about, 2 inches left to stitch on there, so we'll finish that. So that is another level of finished again, that sweater. I suppose we could always add to it. But there's 2 more steps done with it, so I'm really happy about that. All right, I'm going to weave in the ends here, and I'm going to start the next letter B with an away knot, just so I'm not jumping around. So it's a little overkill, but we're going to do it anyway. So I'll show you guys that. And then I do have a tatting piece that one that I'm going to stitch onto that bag. So it's that one that mimics the look of a tatting shuttle. That tatted piece I have here tonight too. So if we get to that, which I think we may, we'll be doing a little tatting tonight too. So a whole pile of craftiness. All right, so I'm going to put my needle in the front there, and that's again just kind of reserving my floss for later while we stitch this letter B, baby letter B. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Oh, thanks Slick Wispy. So or Whipsy, this is I think this is my favorite color tinted embroidery that we've done. We've only done it, I think this is like the maybe 3rd time we've done this, where we're tinting our fabric with colored pencils before we stitch. And I really like how this one turned out. It's not overly bold, but it is, it's not so subtle that you don't see it either, but it is kind of not the first thing you see. My mom actually said that it almost looks like applique, like we've appliqued a cute little piece on here, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, so we just have a little hint of purple, some pink in there, and then, green in his body, and I just really like how it turned out. Oh, my mom is, I think she's watching upstairs on YouTube. So she's around. Oh, you thought it was a B flat. Nope, just uppercase and lowercase b. We're working on the ABC stitch along, so I have a letter for every letter of the alphabet, like a pattern for it. And we just started it last week, so every first week of the month and second week of the month, we'll stitch a letter each one of those weeks. A letter with an animal. And then we'll work on this throughout the year, and I'm going to be stitching it into a quilt as well. So we'll be making it like a cute little alphabet quilt. But yeah, all we have left is this B. And yeah, so we're going to be breaking out those other projects tonight too. I'm excited. That's funny. It is kind of like a B flat, isn't it? B flat. That'd be fun to do a bunch of music symbols and stuff like that. That'd be a fun embroidery. It'd be cool to just have like a staff, like a music staff and stuff, and then have just all the elements so you could like compose a piece onto fabric as an embroidery. That'd be kind of fun. Oh, my mom's probably watching on TikTok too, Robin. That's funny. I don't know if she'll actually do that. Oh man, you guys, I gotta hang out with Chad all evening though. Chad kitty. Chad's the cat. He's an outdoor kitty, but he gotta come in and hang out for a little, and usually he just goes and lays down on the carpet and just chills there and wants his own space. But tonight he was like, we were in the craft room here, which is the laundry room, and he came in there with us, and then we went to other rooms and he came around there, so he was just ready to come hang out, and that was cute. Sweet little kitty. I get my kitty fix when I'm visiting my parents. We don't have any pets, so this is like the pet from afar. And we're always lucky if we see him because he's an outdoor cat. But he still comes by, so that's nice. Kitty cat. All right, I'm hoping I have enough for this center circle, but I'm not 100% confident on that. I think I'm going to finish this outline, and then I'll jump over there. I think we'll do 2 stitches here because I did 2 on the top. And jumping on over here. Oh yeah, I think I'll have enough. Good. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind chimes. It's so windy out right now. And they have, oh geez, I can just hear the gusts of wind, but they have wind chimes out the front door, and they're very active. It's kind of like hearing the frogs though back at the old house when in the summer when we could hear the frogs in the background. Does anyone remember that? That was fun. All those good sounds. All right, almost all the way. Oh, it just looks so cute with this outline, I think. It really does just like push that color, the color tinting back a little bit, and I don't know, it makes it work a little bit better. It's more cohesive, I guess. But I do like the kind of little gradient behind the letters. That worked out really well. So we did this just with colored pencils and then just coloring really lightly with the colored pencils, and then taking the iron, like putting a paper towel on top, and then pressing it with the iron. And that just kind of gets the wax out of the colored pencil or crayon. And so we're just basically kind of dyeing the fabric a little bit. Hey Melanie, we are doing hand embroidery, and I'm just finishing up this guy. So this is hand embroidery that we've color tinted the fabric with. This is the back, so I'm just tucking in the thread because I'm just finishing up this thread. We'll save it though for another piece. And there's the front. Let's snip our away knot off of here. All right, and we're almost done. All right, and let's weave in this end as well. Then we can take it out of the hoop and everything. We have another finished little dude here. Ugh, happy. We'll get through all of these little alphabet guys. 1, 2. So next week, Monday. So Monday is when I'll be back again. I'm not going to be on this weekend, but Monday we'll be starting the embroidery of the month, which is that cute little kitty cat. Which is basically Chad. Chad the kitty cat under the big jade plant. So that's the one that we'll be starting next week. So here we are, done. Ugh, that was fun. So we've been working on this since Monday for about an hour in the evening, and we're taking our time and stuff too. So this was probably about, 4.5 hours to finish this one. I call them 2 movie projects. Maybe 3 episodes of a show. 3 or 4 episodes. So, all right, I think he turned out super duper cute. It really does add a little extra, that color. God, I almost want to color all of them now, but we'll color some more. I think in the process here, because this just really was fun to do. But we'll play around with a bunch of different techniques as we go through the alphabet here. So, all right, that is project number 1, people, for the night. How many will you put together? Oh, when starting to quilt the parts. I'm going to do one at a time, Sylvia. So we're going to be doing quilt as you go, which means that I'm actually going to just take one piece like this, and then I'll take like I should write myself a note. We have a lot of batting here, so I should cut some batting while I'm at my parents' house here. But I'm going to just take a piece like this. So this is about 10.5 inches. And then I'm going to cut a piece of batting the same size, and then a back fabric. So whatever I pick for the back. And then I'm going to actually quilt just this piece. So I'm going to be quilting each piece separately. And then I'll be cutting them all down to about 8.5 inches. So I don't actually need to quilt on the outside, but it's nice to have that little extra. And then we'll be sewing them together with like a little binding. So it's called Quilt As You Go, and we're going to be doing that Quilt As You Go process. So I'd like to, maybe even starting next month, when we have extra time, like what we have like right now, like I have the whole rest of this hour, in the future, I'd like to use it to spend time on the Quilt As You Go process. So we'll be doing that probably starting next month, just getting stuff together to quilt. And then, so we'll go gradually. And then I do have a drawing of what I'm going to do for the quilt, so I'll be posting that. We'll be doing an email about that soon too. But I think I'll be doing it. It's going to be 5 across and 6 squares down. But the 5 across on the top and the bottom will have 2 corner, or like it'll be 4 corners, but those 4 corners won't be letters. And then the letters will be in the middle. So it will be like blank, A, B, C, and then blank will be the first row. And then 5 and 5 and 5. And then the bottom row will be like X, Y, Z with 2 corners. So, because there's only 26 letters, but a 5 by 6 is 30. So if you take out the 4 corners, then it's like perfect for the alphabet, the whole alphabet. So that's kind of the layout, but I'll show some more on that soon. But yeah, I'm really excited to start doing the quilt as you go process on this. That'll be really fun. Now that we've played with it a little bit with the Splendid Sampler 2 quilt, that'll just be easy peasy with these, especially since we do have that extra fabric around. So I'm only going to be quilting like about 8 inches or so, but I'll have that extra leeway in case I like do something like really puffy or something and it needs that extra fabric on the edge. So I think it'll be good that we have this excess around. But all right. Did I use a specific color pencil? Christine, I used I used fancy color pencils for this. They're the Prismacolor pencils. I had them in school and everything, but you really don't need those. You can use any like Crayola or really any colored pencil. You can use any crayon too. The trick, and do tests on the side. I do find this like really helpful doing the little tests, but just start really lightly and then you can keep adding layers and layers and layers of it to make it darker or even blend colors and stuff. I find that to it kind of looks the best. It looks like it's been dyed the most, I think. But yeah, and then putting that fabric on top or the paper towel on top when you press just to like pull some of that wax out, then you're just left with the color. So all right, you guys, so that's that. I want to show you the sweater now, where I got to with the sweater. All right, so here is the sweater, that we've been working on. This is that sweater that I'll show you this in a sec here, but this is that sweater that we cut down the middle. This is that old sweater that my mom had. We had cut it down the middle after sewing these sides. Then we put grosgrain ribbon just to kind of support the edge. And we also we added length to the cuff. So the cuff ended here and I added this. So I added some length with like some ribbing with that I knit with this red. And then while I was here, so that we all did beforehand, but while I was here visiting my parents, I added red to the collar as well. So now it's almost like, I feel like it's like a Letterman sweater. Like I was saying to Mom, it's like it's like a Rydell High sweater. So I added that all the way around with close to the same technique, a little bit different technique that we did with the cuff. I had to look up some some YouTubes for that, but I think it turned out super nice. It just needed a hint of something at the top. And then I made the little label for it. So this is the label. I'll hold it up a little bit so you guys can see it, but it is, this is the text that my mom was texting during our live when we were working on the sweater. And I thought that she had made the sweater, but she's like, no, I didn't make it. And then this is the text that she sent with it. So I printed it out onto a printable fabric. I did that here because my parents have an inkjet printer, so it needs that inkjet printer for that. And it turned out awesome. Like it feels like fabric. It's a little stiff, but it feels like fabric, and it really printed well. So this is kind of like the history and the story of the sweater that I wanted with it, since I did cut up a nice vintage sweater. Mom put the name of the person up there who knit it, and I'm now stitching it around. I'm almost done. I have just a little opening left. So I just wanted to stitch that here with you guys. So we'll finish this project up. So anyway, that's just turning out great. I may still put like that little toggle on top. It would need to be like a really big toggle because I'm never gonna pull it shut like this because it's too small for that. I'll leave it up, but my mom was thinking that would look nice, and it would kind of shape it a little bit nicer while wearing, just to have a toggle. So I don't know, I may do that in the future. We had talked about putting pockets in, but both of those seem like bonus points. I don't know if I'll actually get to that, but this is the part that I really wanted to do, was make this label and get it here, and it turned out better than I thought. It's like the size of a real text too. It's just kind of funny, like this big history. And then I was just I don't know, the collar needed that red on there. It just wasn't feeling right, and now it just like finished it off by having that little bit of red. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. But it's a bummer working on it because it's been so cold. I need to wear it. So when I take it off to work on it, I'm like, ah, man, now I gotta go find a different sweater. So I just have a tiny bit more. And when we're done with this tonight here, I do have that tatting project too that I want to work on a little bit. So I've just been cranking out the projects while I've been here, and it's just been relaxing and nice. Just going for long winter walks outside. It's been nice. Oh yeah, this is actually going way faster than I thought. I got a little further on here than I was thinking, which is great. Getting them done. Then I have a few other projects I want to show you guys too. Like, I bring projects a lot when I come here, but I don't always work on them. So the fact that I worked on all of these so far, I'm just like, this is great. Cranking these out, getting it done. All right, I think that's all the way. I'm just gonna kind of go around this spot again, and we'll just try and tie this off. So I did this, I tucked this under in the way where you take just a scrap piece of fabric and you put right sides together and sew all the way around. And then I cut a hole just like right in the back of the opposite side of the fabric, obviously not this piece. And then I turned it right side out, and that's how I had like super nice edges right away. So that's why I don't have to like tuck it under as I go here. Which is nice. It makes the whole process easier. All right, I'm gonna try and grab some of these threads. I have just enough thread for this though, which is a little annoying. Could have used a little bit more. Just kind of looping around a few times. All right, and I think we'll just kind of tuck it around. Oh, nope, the letter C is a cat, so a cat is next, but a crocodile. Oh, we just did the alligator, so A was for alligator. So we ended up doing a cat for letter C. So C and D is a cat and a dog, so pretty simple those ones. All right, so here we go. The label is in. I'll have to do a little video of this later, but oh, I like how I wasn't originally gonna do it in the middle. I was thinking, oh, I'll put it to the side, but then when I was gonna place it, I'm like, the collar goes up like this. How am I gonna make sure it's straight? Although I could have just followed the line of this, but now I'm actually kind of happy that it's right in the middle because I can see it when it just lays open like that. So we have a little bit of the process of it, which was kind of fun, I thought, and then the text that went with it from my mom for the history of the sweater. So now I don't feel like so bad that I cut it up and did stuff with it because, you know, we have the history of it with it, and I'm really happy with how the little collar turned out. And what's neat too is I had to pick up all the stitches, and that makes a little line, but that line goes perfect with the lines that we stitched here. So it looks like totally intentional, which is fabulous when that happens, especially when you're not planning for that. But there we go. It's looking pretty dang cute. All right, project 2 done, you guys. All right, I wanted to show a couple other things that I'm doing here. Here is a hat that my brother crocheted. So my brother crochets hats and he does an amazing job. But I've had this one for years, and it's my favorite kind of like winter hat when it's not so god awful cold that I have my mutton chop furry hats when it's this cold, but when it gets a little bit nicer, I'll be wearing this. But it was always just a little short, like I kept pulling it down. So what I did is I picked up some crochet stitches and I just went back and forth on the back, and then I went all the way around it. So what that did is I made a little red edge. This is that same red from the sweater. So I went around the edge, and then I also added like 3 or 4 rows in the back and by the ears. So now this is from the side, so now it goes around my ears and it kind of like cups the back of my head a little bit here too. So it just turned into like the perfect hat now. I'm not gonna have to pull it down anymore when I'm outside. And I swear this was a project. This is something I've been meaning to do for years. And I finally just did that. So I'm happy to get that done. And then here's another project that I have. So this is my jean sweat, or my jean like jacket shirt that we have. We've been stitching stuff to it. So here's my tatted letter T, and we have this little acorn there. I'm gonna add to it. So my mom tatted this really pretty little flower, and I was gonna put that. She wanted to know if I wanted to add it to my coat, and I'm like, yes. So I think I'm gonna put it right down here. So I'll just stitch around like that, just kind of how I stitched the label of the sweater on, and it's the same way how I stitched this on, just like a bunch of little stitches around the edge. So this weekend, that guy will go down here. And I have a quilting project that I brought along too, so we're just cranking out the projects. But tonight yet, I want to work on this. So here's my tatting project that I've been working on. So what I want to do is, well, first of all, I want to finish this tatted piece. So here we go here. I'm close. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight, but this weekend I want to finish it. And I want to stitch it onto this really pretty wool. Like it just pops off of there really nicely. And I just want to make like a teeny tiny bag. So kind of like this size, a zipper pouch. So this is going to be my zipper. So that'll be at the top. And I want this to be like the bag that I just holds my current tatting project. So I can just put these in like my current pattern. And then I'm not carrying all of my tatting stuff everywhere. I just can carry my like one project that I'm working on. So just like a really itty bitty zipper pouch is what I want to make out of that. So this is what the plan is for right now. So let's just pick up. Let's see where we left off on our instructions here. See if we can work on this for like a half hour or so. Cranking out the projects. Here, I'll set this up here so we can still see our little butterfly a little bit. I'll move him down in a sec too. All right, we did a clover leaf here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is clover leaf 5. So I must have just finished right there. Let's just double check. Last previous of the ring, Pico 6. Yep, all right, so that's definitely where I left off. So now I'm at the chain. I'm basically making this thing right here, I think, but on the other side. So 2, and then I join to, ooh, now I'm already confused. Oh, I joined to this chain over here, to previous chain. I'm gonna have to get used to tatting instructions again here. Hold on, let me sit down. Okay, 2, join, picot to previous chain, and then 16. All right, let's flip this around. Let's see, I think we're actually, so my green is the number 1 piece. Okay, this looks right. All right, so this shuttle I'm gonna wrap around my fingers here. This is the one I'm gonna chain onto. All right, so, oh, and I need to wrap this thread a little bit more too. Oh yeah, Cheryl, you can help me with this. So I did a little tatting today on a different project. I keep remembering, like I want to start some other tatted pieces. And I'm like, oh, I'll start this snowflake today. But then I'm like, oh wait, my shuttles are being used for other things. So that's kind of the thing with tatting is you gotta have a free shuttle. I think that's why people must have lots of shuttles, because they gotta use it. They gotta have extra for all their projects. Oh, here, I'm gonna. Oh, Christine Chicken. Oh, sorry, you guys. For some reason, I'm not seeing all these comments. I just saw them now, though. Tatting, yeah, I agree with Cheryl there. Like, it's like, seems like one of these mega mysteries, but like once you sort of get it, then it makes sense. And we can go over that a little bit in a sec here. I don't know. This is actually kind of a difficult one to go through how to, oops. Definitely just getting the groove of it all again here. It's been a little while. All right, so I'm joining to the picot in that last chain. I definitely need more slack here. Okay, there we are. So now for these chains, I have to do 16, but I'm putting picots in between each two of them. So let's just get that started, and then I'll kind of go through the process a little bit. Second double stitch. Oh, you can't slide the knots. Oh, Amy, that's yeah. It's really just making sure that flip stays. So, like here I'm flipping the knot, and I'm really trying to keep a solid hold on this thread here, and pulling it up without it trying to, like I'm really just kind of scooching it up with this, and just the holding it tight here helps me so it doesn't flip back. But yeah, that's a struggle for sure. Oh, you don't like the pics? Oh, you on the shuttle? Oh, so you use do you use, Cheryl? Do you have a separate little mini crochet hook to do that, or do you use one of those shuttles that have the hook on it? I'm thinking for, like, I know there's some patterns where I need to make even smaller picots to join, and I was thinking that for that I would want like some sort of little mini crochet hook. I don't know if I like the ones that the crochet hook is built in. Those ones have, I don't know, the one that I have like that, I think it's just the one that I have is just super cheap, so the plastic kind of catches on my thread, so I think it's annoying, but maybe I should give it another try. So you just have a little separate hook. I've seen some like short little crochet hooks that people use for tatting. I think one of those would be cute to have in my tatting bag. 1, 2, so I got 2, 4, 6. So the picots is when I'm just leaving a little gap. Oh, Amy, I think they're probably flipping back at the last second. That's my mom and I are working on those today, and it kind of looked like they were flipping back at the last second, and I'm just trying to think of like how I would stop that, like how I'm just trying to think that through a little bit. Let's oops, whoa, did I just catch all of it? Yeah. So yeah, I'm wondering how I'm getting them to slide down without them flipping back. I think for me, it's really keeping this tight here, and I can see this loop, and I'm just kind of scooching it up before like the final tighten, maybe? I don't know. Let's flip, and yeah, I think I'm just kind of keeping it loose and just right at the end giving it a little tighten. All right, so I gotta do another picot here. Yep, and I'm caught on my finger down here. Yep, I'm at a picot here, so let's do that quick. I'm doing the pattern with all the picots in, so it takes forever. I think if I did the one without the picots, which are these cute little bloops, this would go a lot faster. But yeah, I think if I'm just trying to analyze what I'm actually doing, so I'm flipping it, and while it's still like a big loop, I'm kind of scooching it down a little bit and then tightening it right at the end. But I'm still keeping this solid, and I'm really thinking about this as the core thread. So your main shuttle, that's the core. That's also called a core thread, and it's the actual core of all these stitches. Like all these stitches are wrapped around the core. So if I remember that, you know, everything has to go around the core thread, then I can kind of see if my knots are in the wrong direction or something. All right, this is stuck on my finger here, so I'm gonna just redo that little twist. How many do I got going on here? Not 16 yet, I don't think. Man, I'm definitely not comfortable with doing these chain stitches yet, though. Or just these chains, not chain stitches. I'm so used to saying chain stitches from like crochet and everything. The stitch part just comes out. So, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, I got 12. I need 16. 12, this is a picot one. So the picot, I'm leaving that little gap in between while I do the double stitches. Yeah, I'm trying to like notice how I'm doing it, right? So I'm hoping that that's helpful a little bit. So yeah, let's see, I'm flipping it, and I have this like kind of loose flip, so my you know what, I'm gonna put this underneath because I think we'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better with this. Oh, I got like a little name underneath there. There, so now you can see a little bit better, I think. So I have this thread super tight, and I'm keeping that loose, and I'm just kind of shushing it up here, and it's still kind of really loose right until I get to the end, and then I tighten it, and I can see that my core thread is still tight here, so I know that that knot is looking good yet. So flipping and keeping it tight, kind of scooching that up while it's still a loop, and then pulling it. So I don't know, hopefully that helps a little. Dangle some more of that thread. Okay. Oh, I gotta do a picot here. I think this might be our last picot of the 16. I'll have to count again. And I'm using this white cotton. This is like a, you know, that size, I think it was size 30, just like that crochet cotton. And I feel like it doesn't slide as smoothly along itself. Like I feel like it's just, I don't know, some of that other thread I'm using, just like all my knots just go zoop right down, and this just seems like it's fighting me just a hair. This white cotton thread, but I think I just need to get used to it. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, 16. Now what? One more picot and then 2 more. So I'm basically doing like 18 instead. One more picot. Okay. 1, 2, or basically the other side of 1. Okay, there we are, and I can pull that kind of tight too, so it has that little arc going on for it. Looking good. All right, now what? We're at the last, I'm just looking at this, so we're on our last clover leaf here. So this little bloop here, this is the one without any of the picots around. We're doing this one up here with all of the picots. Oh, Amy says definitely can see better with the dark background. Yeah, I think that works way better. I look down and I'm like, oh, like I'm looking at my hands, and then I looked in the thing, I'm like, oh, no one can see what I'm doing. It's a white on white background here. Okay. We are on ring number 20. To last stitch, to last picot, join to last picot of ring 19, which would have been the one right there. Okay, that's straightforward. All right, I gotta flip my work again. And, okay, yeah, we're making a ring. So this is where like all this stuff is flopping around in the way here, so I'm gonna have to just kind of start moving things around. And I'm not quite sure I can do that final join yet. I might have to watch a video on how to do that, but actually I don't think we'll get that far anyway tonight. But this is definitely further along, which makes me happy. All right, I'm doing the ring, so that means I'm going around my hand this time. Let's see, what are the instructions? Okay, I gotta do 6 first. Wow, that's kind of a lot to start out with. Okay, 1. Oh, do these I have to do picots in between? No, this is a ring. 1. Here, guy. Just tuck you underneath there. 2. Like, how do you work on a whole giant, like, piece? You'd have, like, where do your hands go? You'll have the tatting will just always be in the way. I'm gonna have to watch some more videos. I'm sure that's all figured out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get a little bit bigger ring. Oops. Get a little bit more slack on here. And 1 more. Yeah, I think I am just kind of waiting to the end. So I'm flipping the knot and like keeping this nice and tight and keeping that loop still there. And then right at the end, I'm tightening it. I think that's kind of how I'm doing it, so they're not flipping back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6, and then join to the ring of, or the picot of the last one. So that would be this one right here. Ugh. Get back here, guy. All right. So I'm using the little hook to dig into that picot. This is where you'd want that little crochet hook. Pulling it up, going through that join. Then I'm making the thanks, Melanie. I'm making the core thread, which is the one with the shuttle, my main shuttle. I'm making that tight again while I pull that back. So the join is actually kind of like a little loop that's on the core thread. So it's not, I'm not pulling that perfectly tight. That's going to stay a little loop there. All right, and scooched him out of the way again. I still got my ring going on here. Looking at the instructions, so I did that join. All right, then 4 more picot, or 4 more double stitches. Ooh, Cheryl says I'm doing a year-long tag-along, and it'll be the largest piece all I've done. Oh, if it's okay, I can post it as I work on. Oh yeah, go ahead and post in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group on Facebook. Yeah, totally post whatever you're working on for sure. I know, Robin, I'm thinking she'll be a no-show. Her presence is here. She's just upstairs. 3, 4. I do think I can see my stitches nicely though with this kind of crochet thread. So that's nice. I was working with a much smaller, like tiny 12 weight sewing floss earlier, so this is refreshing to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, 4, and then picot and 2. So I'm starting the 2 and gonna leave room for that picot. That looks good. Okay, 1, 2. I think that's it. Yep, let's pull this ring tight. That's the fun part. That's where it all connects up. All right, great. So there we go. We just did that little ring there. We've also connected it to this past ring. Looks like I can pull it a little tighter. Cute. All right, so that's the first part of our last little clover leaf here. Yeah, and then we just have to connect it to the beginning somehow yet. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Come on, green. All right. It really is getting awkward for me with all this extra stuff around, though. That's why I'm practicing, I guess. Okay. 2, and then join to the peak of the last previous ring. Okay, that's nearby. I can do that. Okay, 1. Get a little bit more here. 1, 2, and then I'm going to join to this picot, so I'm going to put my thread underneath that picot. Let's pick it out. There we go, and I'm going to stick my shuttle through there, make that core thread tight again. All right, good, did that. 2, now 6. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, getting small here. Let's get bigger. 3. 4. 6. Cool. All right. This gets joined to the second space. No, the second a space that's for a different craft again. Second SP for space. That's not space. It's small picot. Join to the second small picot of ring 18. Well, what the heck is ring 18? I'm just going to look at the design. We're going to figure it out by looking at it. Okay, this was the 6. Now I need to join it to something. To this thing? Probably. Join to here, and then I do 2 more, and then I do it to the big loop. Yep, okay, that's good. So, yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to fold this stuff out of the way. We're going to join this to this tiny picot here. So tiny picots, or small picots, I guess. SPs, small picot. That's where that crochet hook would be good, but let's see if I can grab it with this little hook here. Ha, okay, got it. Sort of. There, okay. Great, okay. Yep, and my thread still moves, that's positive. Always want to check on that. All right, now 2, and then I join to that big middle area. 1, 2. The big middle area, oh, is right there. I think I can still get this stuff out of the way. Ooh, I think I need more slack on here first. Am I crow tatting? Exactly, Don. Yep, we're doing some tatting. It looks like crochet, not quite crochet though. And I keep accidentally using crochet terms because I crocheted a little bit today, and so now I'm blending all my crafts together again. All right, we did that join. That worked all right. 2, join to the large picot. Okay, so 2 more. Oh, and then I gotta join to something else? Oh, okay, yeah, I see where. Okay, 1, this is the first time I've had to join, a first project I've done where I have to join to like a bunch of things into the same big picot in the middle. So that's kind of fun. 2. All right, now I join to, I guess this one right here, this little picot that's hiding out right here. Got all these gobs of things everywhere. I think I need to tighten this a little bit. Getting clumsy here for sure. There we go, this little picot. Got it. Gotcha. I'm running out of thread. We did try and do that measuring of thread for this, so we'll see when we're done how close we got to the measurements being right. All right, so that was 2 to the large picot, and then to the one, and then now I should just be able to do 6. Okay, I think we're getting it. 1. Thread chicken, yep, we are definitely playing some thread chicken Dawn. Kind of on purpose, because I want to see if this whole measuring thing works out, but I did also add extra, because I don't trust myself to like do that perfectly. But we'll see if we added enough. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And this is about time when I need some more thread. 4, 5, 6. Then what? 6 picot 2. A little picot. There we are. That's 1 and 2. Phew, okay, now let's pull this ring tight. Let's just see if that was right. 2 to the large one, 2 attached to that one, 6, and then 2, picot 2. All right. Pull this tight. All right, looking good. We just did that big loop here, which connected, I think it connected to this piece, it connected to here, it connected to our middle picot, which looks like we didn't need to really make that big. And then we connected to this one here, and then we had to make another picot. So that was connecting all over the place, but let's just take a look quick where we are. So let's see. So I'll do one more here, and actually that looks like it might connect up to, I'm just looking on this side, it looks like we might connect up to here. No, to here. This is where I should be keeping track of like what number each of these rings are, but I'm just looking at the picture at this point, which may or may not be a good idea. So we'll do, yeah, the last ring I think we'll connect up to there, and then we'll just have a little chain to do. Dang, we might actually finish this. Oh, we only have a couple more minutes left, so maybe we won't, but I'll do at least one more ring here. It's so much easier. It's so much easier to do it with a shuttle than the hook I get. Oh, you get lost with the hook. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I haven't done much with the hook, the hook style yet. Oh, thanks, JW. Is it easy, Don? It is when you get the concept of it. So it was like a whole big giant mystery to me, which obviously made it not easy because I didn't understand it at all. But then when I got a couple concepts, then it all kind of clicked. And I don't know all the things yet. I'm just kind of learning. But the idea of that everything is made up of a double stitch. So it's all just really all one stitch for this whole thing, basically. And so learning how to do that, which is the motion of the shuttle. So I can go over that here quick, just as soon as I read the instructions. Okay, I gotta do 2. So a double stitch So we have our shuttles here, and the shuttles are, I mean, you've probably seen me while I'm going, they have openings so I can move the thread through them, and it's just holding the thread for me. So when my thread gets too short, I just unwind a little bit more, and then we're good to go again. So that's all that we're doing with the shuttles. It's just a placeholder of our thread. And what I'm going to do is go under this thread. So this thread that I've wrapped around my hand, I'm wrapping it around because I want to make a circle, like one of these rings. So I got to wrap it around my hand. I'm just kind of making a big ring that we're going to pull tight, basically. So let's do a double stitch, because everything's a double stitch. You're just counting how many double stitches you do. A double stitch is 2 parts. You got the first half of the stitch and the second half of the stitch. So the first half, you bring your hand towards you and you put your hand underneath the thread. So you're coming in front of your thread and going underneath. And then this thread right here that's on our hand right there, this one right here is the one that we're going to be doing all our work on. So we're going to go bring our hand and go underneath, and I'm showing you from the side, but we're going to go with the shuttle underneath that thread that's on our fingers there. Underneath, and it's going to actually slide, the shuttle's going to slide underneath my finger until it clears the thread. There we go. And now we're going to go up with the shuttle, and it's going to go past my thumb and the shuttle till the shuttle's like cleared that thread too. And we're basically just making a little loop. So there's our loop. So now here's the second. Oh yeah, the shuttle that I'm using is called a post shuttle because it has the post in the middle that we wrap our thread around. So here's the second concept. So that was kind of the first half of the knot. We're not quite done with it yet, but you need to know the next concept. These are the 2 concepts to know for tatting. So here we have my thread on my shuttle is really loose and it's wrapping around this tight thread here. We want to reverse that. So you can see this loop right here. It's on this tight thread here. I actually want this thread to be loose and this thread to be super tight, which will also make this loop go in the other direction. So you do that by pulling on your shuttle. So I'm going to pull on the shuttle, and at the same time, I'm going to loosen the hand on my the thread on my left hand. And it looks like it's a little knot, but if I keep pulling with the shuttle, there we go. Now my shuttle thread is super duper tight. And now this thread is super loose, and what that did is made a loop here. So we've flipped the loop is what it's called. So I basically moved the loop from being on this thread to this thread. So I'll do it again. So I'm gonna just reverse it I just reverse it by now making this hand tight. So this hand is loose now. There's the loop, it's on this tight thread. Let's make this thread tight and this thread loose, and we'll flip that loop. So boop, there we go. Now we got that loop on this core tight thread here. That's super important. That's what makes the knots slide on the thread. So that's what makes it so I can pull this loop tight at the end. So it's really important. So now I'm just gonna kind of scooch it down. That's kind of tricky too. I just keep holding my thread tight. You just gotta make sure. The first one's always kind of tough because I'm trying to get it right next to my last ring there. But you always got to make sure that if you pull your core thread, your ring gets around your hand, it gets smaller and bigger. As long as you can still have that movement, that you can still pull and that thing gets tightened, then you know you've done the flip correctly. If you can't, if this is just tight and it doesn't move at all, you didn't do that flip, or it flipped back. So you got to really pay attention to that flip. I think that's like the big main core idea of tatting. So let's do the second half of the knot. So that was the first half of our double stitch. The second half of the double stitch, now I just let the thread hang. I'm not putting it underneath my hand. I'm just letting it hang. And I'm doing it the opposite direction. So I'm going above that thread now, like over that thread and past my thumb. And then I'm putting the shuttle underneath that thread and going past my finger. And that again is going to make a loop. So there's our loop again. We have to flip it again. So let's tighten the shuttle thread and loosen the other thread in there. It's flipped the other direction, and I'm going to just scooch it on down. And that right there is our double stitch. And that's what everything else is here, is just a double stitch. And my thread, yep, it still moves, so we're good. All right, I have to do one more of those for this pattern. So the first half of the knot, I'm going to swoop under, then go under the thread and over the thread. And then it makes that loop. So let's flip that loop. There we go. Scooch it on down. And then the second half, I go over and under. So over and under. There's our loop. Let's flip it. Sometimes you gotta just tug on it and it'll flip. And there we go. So now I got two little stitches hanging out there. So those are double stitches, and that's basically everything we're doing. And this guy's in my way. All right, so the next part I have to join to the picot of the previous ring. So I'll show you how to do a picot in a sec. The picot is all of these little loops, and you're basically making just the next double stitch but leaving a gap. So that's all that means. But sometimes these picots are decorative, like they are down here, but sometimes they're structural, which means like they're attaching, we're using them to attach other things to, and that's what we're gonna do right now. I did my 2 double stitches and we're gonna attach it, what I suspect is to this picot here, to picot of previous ring. Yep, okay. So what I'm gonna do is this thread that's around my hand, I'm gonna actually place it, thanks Angie, I'm gonna place it underneath that picot, and now I'm gonna actually dig out the picot. What we're going for is that we're attached to that. And so how I'm doing that is bringing that loop up from the back, so through the picot. There we go. With the shuttle has a little hook on it. And I'm gonna pull the shuttle all the way through that loop. And then I'm gonna pull that loop back. So we've basically gone through the picot and now we're like attached to that. So that's called a join. That's kind of like a goofy thing. I'm not like pro on that yet. And there's a couple of ways to join to a picot like that. But this is the only way I know so far. I know there's other rules and stuff, but I'm not that advanced yet. But anyway, so that's a join. I know we're kind of jumping in and doing, a lot of difficult things right away, but just thought I'd share a little bit. So now I got to do 4 more double stitches. So let's swoop under. 1, 2, or no, that was actually the other half. So this is the first part of the second half. So this is 2, and the second half of 2. We're flipping those knots each time. All right, my thread's getting pretty small here, so I'm just gonna pull on my ring, my loop there to get it bigger, and now I need more slack here, so let's undo a few more. Okay, this is 3, and I said 4, right? Yep, 4. That's 4. Now what? Okay, now I have to join to the 3rd picot of ring number 2. Holy cow. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely, since I didn't label these and I don't want to look it up, I'm gonna use the pictures. So this is probably ring number 2. Okay, I think I got a hook all the way up here, which would be the 3rd picot. Ooh, so this is gonna be awkward, so I gotta kind of rotate a little bit. Wait, is that the 3rd picot? Yeah, there's one decorative one, so I go to this one in the middle here. Okay. Get in there. So I'm going through that picot again just because I need to join to it. So let's pass the shuttle through that loop. Okay, I think I got the right one. Now what? Just 6 more double stitches and then that's it. Then I pull the ring tight. Oh, Angie says, you're helping me so much. Most people go too fast. Oh, that's makes me so happy because this was a whole giant mystery to me a couple months ago. So it's been really fun, learning and trying to help. Because I know if I'm having trouble, then I'm thinking, there's a lot of other people having trouble with it because these were just mystery objects, a little while back, right? These shuttles. And I'm I need to know what those do and how they work. And so that's kind of been my mission for the past couple months. But But yeah, so I'm happy to go through this process, and we'll be doing more tatting here too, just because I'm really liking it, having fun doing it. All right, 1, 2, 3. I need 6. Okay, 3, 4. Yeah, when the people who know what they're doing do it, they're just like, and it's like, what? How did that happen? All that magic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm totally with you, Angie. Angie says it's still a mystery to me. It gets confusing. Definitely, I'm definitely still there with you too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've been reading, like I've been getting more patterns, and I got like a little book of snowflakes and stuff. And there's a whole pile of terms in there that I don't know how to do those techniques yet. So I'm like, well, I definitely have more to learn before I do these. So that's what I'm doing here. All right, 6. Oh, that's it. So what we're basically making is a row. So if I pull this tight, it's just like a bunch of stitches in a row, right? Where I joined in the middle of it, and that's what's so fun, is you're just making a whole pile of stitches, and now all I do is start pulling my thread here, and the ring that's around my hand gets smaller and smaller until I bring it off my hand. And we're just pulling it tighter and tighter and tighter, and it's pulling together that row of stitches. So we're just going to pull it so there's no more slack. There we go. Just pulling, keep on pulling, and there we go. Now we have, like, all those stitches we just did are those little rings, that little ring right there. So that is our last let's see, our last I want to say trefoil. That's not what they're called. Last clover leaf. So our last clover leaf there. We really don't have a whole lot to do yet. I'm a little nervous about our last join. Oh, we do actually have a lot to do yet. I was thinking we just go zoop and we're done, but we don't. We still have like a whole thing here. So I think I am gonna stop tonight. I think I am gonna stop tonight, because this is gonna take surprisingly longer than you think. Like, it looks like we're practically done. I should just keep going, but this is gonna be like another good probably half hour at least for me to do this little chain. I have another tiny ring there, and then this whole chain, and then joining it, which I'm not sure I'm completely solid on how to do well yet. So we gotta go boop, bloop, bloop. So I think we'll let that go for a little. Maybe I'll work on that this weekend. We'll do more tatting though, so we'll do this again. But look how pretty it is on this wool. I would love to actually stitch this. Gosh, it'd be cool to finish this, but I don't need to on purpose do tons of crafts. I don't need to be busy the whole entire time I'm here, but it's been fun just kind of finishing some of these projects. But yeah, this guy's practically done. So it's supposed to look like a shuttle. So it's meant to look like one of these. So that's why it has like this funny little like tip here. That's kind of like the little hook. So it's kind of an homage to tatting by tatting a shuttle here. This is, you can look up this pattern. It's Beth Z's Tat Chat Shuttle. It's free. As far as I know, like the only place I've been able to find it online, it's free. It's just available. So, but that's what you search for, is Beth Z's Tat Chat Shuttle. There's 2 versions. We're doing this one that has all the little decorative picots all over it, which is looking so cute against this. And then there's the version where you just don't do all the decorative picots, which actually is really very pretty too. So see, it doesn't have all the little like tiny bloops all along the edge. It's just nice and clean. We're doing the one with all the little bloops. Oh, you collect the old shuttles, Angie. That's awesome. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open for them in the future for sure. Just like, if I happen to come upon them, I'll know what they are and I'll be like, yep, that's fun. I want to play with them. So, all right, you guys, I think that's that for tonight. Thanks for hanging out. I know we were here a bit longer again. And, again, the main reason we were here is we finished our letter B embroidery. We also finished that sweater, getting the label on the sweater here. So this is like a full night of finishing up stuff. So I'm really happy with that. So awesome, you guys. I will be back on Monday, and we'll be stitching the embroidery of the month. Oh, stitching Tori. Nope, it's not going to be a bracelet. I am going to, let's fold this up again because it's fun to see. I'm going to use this wool, and what I want to do is make like a really small, oh, I have too much wool here to do it, but let's pretend that it's about that big. I want to stitch this onto it and make it like a little zipper pouch. So I have the zipper. I'll shorten the zipper, but I want it to be like a teeny tiny little tiny zipper pouch that I can put whatever current tatting project I'm working on. So like I'd be able to just tuck all this in the little zipper pouch. I'll line it too, like I'll put some cotton fabric on the inside, but just an itty bitty zipper pouch. And I think, you know, I can tuck it in my pocket or throw it in my bag, and I'll always have whatever tatting project, even like a big tatting project, could get stuffed in there because, man, these things just are a whole pile of nothing. But yeah, so, and this will be just like a cute decorative thing on the outside that will signal, hey, this is my tatting stuff. Look at the tatting on the outside. But I just think it pops so nicely, the white on this really pretty kind of gray plaid with the red and yellow gold in there. I think it's just going to be so freaking cute. So I'm really excited to get this going and done. And then it can just go in my I have a larger tatting bag, but that has like all my stuff in there. And I might just want to take like the one project with me. So that's the plan for this. So awesome, you guys. I will see you on Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. Thanks again for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Have a lovely weekend.